Welcome to part 2 of more electronic music production tips using AutoTune Unlimited. This is part 2 to the sequel to our 10 tips video with the same premise released a few weeks ago, so I suppose this is part 3. But there is so much power in the bundle and frankly, some unsung heroes. So here are 5 final tips for electronic music production using AutoTune Unlimited. We'll pick up right where we left off with the previous offering. Here we go.
Tip number 6, create electronic vocals with Slice. You already have one of the best lead vocal libraries combined with a melody idea generator in Slice. So let's bring it up here on a stereo track, and I'll show you how to create a compelling lead vocal line. If you've watched the other 2 videos, you know by now that I like to name things. Slice vocal track seems right for this one. And let's bring up the preset Best of Me. We could bring up any number of presets, but this seems good. Now it's going to be in the wrong key. We'll kick the AutoTune mix up to 100% and set it to 1 step low. That's 2 half steps. And there we are. I want to create a new custom slice. We'll just drag from the edge of the window here all the way to the beginning of this phrase. It'll come up on a new key on F. Let's try it out. Not bad. Let's add some delay. We'll just drag the send slider up to about 80% here. And let's record. And you'll want to make sure you're listening in stereo to get the full effect. Beautiful, beautiful. Staying with the down-tempo vibe, tip number 7, use Duo as an amazing stereo enhancer. For this tip, we're going to use Duo in a traditional send effects scenario. We've got a mono aux send, and we're going to bring up a mono to stereo instantiation of Duo. We're going to name it Duo Spreader so we can be clear on what it is. We'll set the input to bus 49, and then on our drum bus, we'll send to that same bus 49. As we bring up the slider, we'll begin to hear the stereo effect. Varying the pitch and the timing will enhance the effect. Just a taste. Taking it back to progressive house, tip number 8, use punch as a parallel insert on your drums. Let's add a parallel drum bus to this track and call it punch bus. This is going to receive the exact same signal. We'll put it in mute for now, but we're going to bring it up to drum bus so we have 2 parallel buses. Let's instantiate punch on one of them, and the other one will be just clean. Now we'll set the settings quite aggressive. After all, this is not going to be the main bus. We want the effect of punch to be quite apparent on this one. Love how it collapses the claps there. Now let's bring up both of them. We'll pull the volume down so we hear the clean drums, and then we'll add punch to taste. Instant life. Let's mute to compare. There we are. Staying progressive a moment more, we're going to add another stereo aux track. We'll call it Air. Set the input to bus 49 and 50. Of course, we rename it Air. And that'll set us up for tip number 9. Enhance your percussion with Articulator. We're going to focus on the stereo noise generator. It's kind of an old trick with new legs with Articulator. In your mixer, send to the air bus from your percussion tracks. In this case, it's the 2 claps. And it'll add a good amount of beef to the clap tracks. One cool thing about Articulator is we can actually shape the noise with tracking, throat length, and throat width. We could go incredibly extreme, but that's not called for in this track. Let's add another send from the kick drum track and create a little air around the kick drum. That's too much, of course. Very nice. Here it is without it, and with. Tip number 10 is actually 2 techniques to tune your vocal stacks better and faster. We have 4 vocals singing the same thing in this part. We need to tune them and then the other parts. So we'll bring up AutoTune, but we're going to go straight to graph mode and bring in the pitch. Once we've got the pitch brought in, we can make notes and AutoTune will give us an indication of what it thinks it should do. I'm going to erase a couple of notes, let her have this fall and maybe these 2 notes. Over here, it looks like the vibrato got a little too wide and it changed notes for her. And we'll get rid of that note as well. Let's go select all. And we'll select a global retune speed of 30. Now remember, she's singing the exact same part, so let's option drag with these tuning parameters dialed in across all 4 tracks. Now we have the tuning information dialed in, but we need the individual pitch information from each track. Let's go get it. And you can see the pitch information change right there. And as it catches up, you can see it in real time. See it redraw? That's the new pitch information over the old tuning information. And in fact, we can bring up the other 2 AutoTunes at the same time and track them in together. And you can see how the pitch information gets redrawn using the exact same work I did just for the first plugin. So, there we are.
Black smoke.
Perfect tuning. Customized for each time she sung it, but locked into that guide track. Pro Tools offers offline versions in the Audio Suite menu, so we're going to bring up the offline AutoTune Pro and do it the same way. It'll be a little faster. We're going to track in the pitch, make the notes just as before, getting rid of any extraneous pitches that pop up. Select all, set a global retune speed of about 30. Have a listen.
Black smoke. You.
Pressing render writes the file to the timelines. Now we have edited audio right there on our timeline with no extra plugin. Let's do this for all of the others.
Black
And you can see the new pitch coming in off the old work we just did. We really don't even have to listen to the whole thing. We can just press render. We've already heard what it's going to sound like. But again, it's custom for that track. So we'll fly through. We'll get the other parts. There we are.
Black smoke.
Nice.
Okay, 5 final tips for electronic music production using the AutoTune Unlimited bundle. I hope you found these useful. Thanks for watching.